Morning, Billy Idol, 98.7 WFGR. It's 8:30 straight down, and how about you do us a little traffic, Dave? You got anything over there?
Yeah, looking at moderate to heavy traffic flows along the Ford 131, I-96, M6. Most construction projects will be suspended starting at 3 o'clock this afternoon or running through 6 o'clock on Tuesday morning, but still 28 between Patterson and Kraft. That'll still be in place, as well as 131 northbound from 196 to Ann Street, the eastbound 196 at Market Street. Look out for a lane squeeze there. If you're traveling towards Nunica, east and westbound I-96 on 112th Avenue, still down to one lane in both directions. That's traffic on 98.7 WFGR.
You know what you should mention as well?
What?
Click It or Ticket.
That's right.
All this weekend, and they are everywhere. They were picking them off on Alpine yesterday, left and right. So
$70, what is it?
$65
fine now.
That's not what I want to spend $65 on a holiday weekend.
Yeah, and keep in mind that Home Depot detour that's not a detour on 28th Street, that'll run you about $125.
That's right. So today, Dave, is not Friday.
No, it's not.
Do you know why it's not Friday?
But it's not, right.
Because they don't want you to fry in the sun, and we've got one of our great sponsors down here who I've known for quite some time. Dr. Jack Dekkinga is here. How are you, Doctor?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Well, you know, everybody that gets up for 3 o'clock in the morning for work all year long.
We get to avoid the dangerous rays of the sun, though.
That's right, because we're like vampires.
We're shut-ins.
That's why you guys are looking so good, is that it?
Well, you know what, though? He goes to tanning booths.
No,
I know. Do you want to give him your card right now?
I will. I'll give him a free spray tan.
There you go.
He likes those, too.
Like
a Friday night when he's ready to go out and hit college night somewhere.
I haven't done college night since my early 30s.
Yeah, okay.
Knock it off.
Well, whatever. Okay. Dr. Dekkinga is a long-established dermatologist here in town, and you run a practice on Michigan Street, I think.
Well, we
still
were
got the one
years ago. No, now we're in Granville.
Okay.
Right near Rivertown Crossings, and we have an office in Holland.
Okay. So you're kind of all over the place. And
covering West Michigan.
Let's talk a little bit about skin cancer. I mean, you hear it over and over how dangerous it is and how the sun affects this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What age do you start seeing this pop up on people?
Well, the youngest person I've had in my office here in West Michigan was 15 years old.
With skin cancer?
With skin cancer on her nose. Yeah.
From sun damage?
From sun damage at 15. But that's pretty rare. Usually they start about 20, 21, 22. Actually, not a week goes by now that we don't see a young woman in our office who doesn't have a what's called a dysplastic mole, or a mole that's turning into a melanoma, or a melanoma per se. So it's becoming a real epidemic.
22 years old, and they've got sun-damaged skin cancer already. I mean, and this is something that can be treated if caught early.
If caught early, especially the basal cell and squamous cell carcinomas, they can be treated as long as you don't let them go too long. The melanoma is the tough one, though.
Yeah.
We have a patient, Jillian Hayes, who we discovered a melanoma on her in her teens, and she died last December at the age of 23.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Yeah. And her mistake was spending too much time in a suntan booth.
Yeah. I don't do it that often. I've done like, what? Maybe 4 times a year.
Oh, is that right?
You know what that's called?
Well, let me give you a number, okay?
I'll tell you what. No, let's do this.
Yeah.
Take your shirt off.
No, I'm not.
Take your shirt off. This is a physician.
No, we're not doing that.
Stand up and take your shirt off.
I'm not disrobing.
Dave,
I'm not disrobing.
Dave, take off your shirt.
I'm not disrobing.
All right, lift it up.
What?
I want him to look at your back.
No. We're done now.
You're going to be off the show. Stand up and show him your back.
I'm not going to
getting your free
that.
screening from a doctor. You don't have insurance. Stand up, you.
Who said free?
Who said free?
No. I'm not disrobing in the studio.
Let me give you a number, though.
Yeah.
All right.
If you go to a suntan booth, one time, you've increased your chance of getting a melanoma by 20%.
Really?
One time.
It doesn't matter how powerful the booth is. It doesn't matter. I mean, because like if you're talking like, have they gotten safer or have they gotten less safe as far as exposure goes?
Well, they will advertise that they've now got safe bulbs, but they're not. They burn. They do deep damage, and you just can't get around it. But 20% increase in melanoma for going one time. You go twice. Every additional time you go, it's another 2% risk.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So,
how about the sun now? I mean, there's.
Well, think about it.
You got all the stuff that you hear about global warming and the atmosphere and all that. Has the sun intensified?
I don't think so.
No?
I mean, there are places in the world where the sun is really a problem due to the lack of the ozone layer, such as Australia. But that's not that big of a problem right here.
Okay.
But the sun is intense. But think about it. You spend 5-6 hours out in the sun. You spend 15 minutes in a photo booth, and you can get burned. So you're getting a lot of high-intensity energy over a short period of time.
It's scary stuff.
We think that might be doing part of it. So
it's unbelievably scary stuff. Now, I was just joking before we came on the air. I did a skin cancer, what they called it the Mohs process.
Right.
When I was in the 7th grade, because my mom used to work for Dr. Dekkinga.
Yeah.
And that group of doctors, they kind of helped me through my science project, and I went through the whole Mohs process of doing, actually, you slice away at the skin cancer till it's gone. And it was just unbelievable to see, what goes into this and how dangerous and deadly it can be.
Now, when you're talking about moles and stuff, what you hear people say, you got to look for a discoloration or what specifically do you really need to look for as far as skin cancer goes with moles?
I can tell you a couple of things. First, you look for asymmetry. If there's if a mole is bigger on one side than the other, it's not a mirror image of each other, that's a problem. If the border is jagged or irregular, that's a problem. If the color is variable from light browns to dark browns to black and even purple, that's a problem. If it's a growing mole or just catches your eye. Now, the other thing we look for is the ugly duckling theory.
Yeah.
Say you've got 100 moles on your body, but one looks like it doesn't belong to you. All right, that's the one that's going to be the problem.
Really?
So, yeah.
Wow. Something you got to watch. Can't take your shirt off.
Dude, knock it off.
I'm
not disrobing in the studio anymore. I did that once.
What?
That's it. You leave them wanting more. That's it.
Yeah, that's because that's what everybody wants to see, you shirtless. Wonderful. Dr. Dekkinga, it's been a great pleasure to have you stop in today. Thanks for the little heads up on skin cancers and stuff.
A quick question regarding why am I black? Suntan lotion or any kind of lotion.
Yeah.
What now? If it's higher than 30, like when you see these that have SPF like 50 or 35, 30 is really the highest. You really can't.
No.
So the 50s actually.
That's a myth. That started back years and years ago when the government would not let you put higher than the number 30 on a sunscreen.
Yeah.
Okay.
But now with new testing and such, the higher numbers are the better numbers. But you have to look for one that is a broad spectrum. Okay. That takes care of all the wavelengths. So
there you have it.
Bigger is better.
Be safe out there in the summer. Dr. Dekkinga, good to see you again.
Thank you so much.
Good to see you guys.
I know it's been since I was 7 that you've seen me, but
yeah, you haven't changed much.
That's it for Dr. Dekkinga. Have a great weekend, Doctor. Thanks for coming in and talking a little bit about skin cancer.
So